Good morning, everyone. Father Andrew Dickinson with your Newman Center update for April 25th, the last week of classes before finals, and still in the Easter season. Happy Easter. We're going to talk today a bit about love. But first, some things going on this week. In this last week of classes, we have on Tuesday night, we have some sisters and monks with us here to pray with us and talk about the life of prayer. Dinner with them at 6, talk with them at 7 in the Newman Center Chapel. Thursday night, the last faith talk with Father Andrew, me, entitled Satan Has a Plan for Your Life, too. We often talk about God having a plan for your life, but so does the enemy, and we need to know about that. Friday night, praise and worship with the well. Sunday, we have blessings before final exams. Hope you make it to something this week to refresh your faith in this last week of classes. Always check us out on our Facebook page for more information. So you may notice that I'm not at my normal spot this Monday morning. I'm actually recording this while I'm out in Rapid City for the wedding of 2 alum from our Newman Center, a great young couple, Joe and Ashley. Send them some prayers here in their honeymoon days. Let's talk a bit about love and marriage. I want to talk about 2 things that help make for a beautiful wedding day. 2 things that, thanks be to God, Joe and Ashley did before their wedding day. I tell this to all couples who come in for marriage prep with me. The first thing that makes for a good wedding day is cake, and the second is your DJ. I'm kidding, okay? It takes more than a cake, more than a good DJ to make for a good wedding. What I want you to have the type of wedding that will make your mom's friend who she works with, who lost her husband, and she's grown sad in her mourning, and maybe her heart's been hardened a bit against love. I want you to have the type of wedding that makes this friend of your mom go, I could love again. I want you to have the type of wedding that makes your dad's brother, who's been a bachelor and a farmer his whole life, I want you to have the type of wedding where he looks at it and says, maybe I've been missing out on something in my life. And then maybe the 2 of them will have a dance at your reception and fall in love, and wouldn't that be sweet? So, the 2 things we need for that, not cake, not a DJ, not even the dress, but what we need for that are prayer and sacrifice. Prayer and sacrifice. That's what we need. And if you pray, if you learn how to sacrifice with one another, people will look at you up on the altar on your wedding day and say, there's something different about them. Now, what do I mean by prayer? I mean praying with one another and yourselves, each learning how to pray for yourselves. So learning how to pray for yourselves, your time of preparation for marriage should be a time of growth in your prayer life. If the boyfriend or girlfriend you have now isn't helping you to grow in your prayer life, to pray more, to pray better, to grow in the love of God and of neighbor, then something isn't going right in that relationship and you need to work on it. Okay? Find some help. Find some encouragement. If you're growing in prayer and you learn how to pray together, people will see that in you on your wedding day. The second thing, sacrifice. And by sacrifice, I mean here especially chastity. Okay, purity before your marriage. Now, no matter where you're at in your relationship now, you can always claim chastity and purity if you have not lived it in your relationship so far. And so I tell this to all the couples who come in these months before the wedding to strive for that purity, to restrain yourself to live God's plan of saving sex for marriage. And then people will see that there's an intensity to you because your relationship means something now, because then marriage really means something else as well in that way about your relationship, that it will blossom in that way on the wedding night. And then physical intimacy becomes the crown on top of a personal intimacy, of an emotional intimacy, of a spiritual intimacy, crowned with that physical intimacy. Again, love is a beautiful thing. I love love. And I hope you have wonderful love in your life, whether you're called to be a priest, a sister, married man or woman. But if you're preparing for marriage or thinking about marriage, make sure you're looking at these 2 things to make your married life beautiful.